is the first character that comes to your mind when you hear the word evil? How about when you hear the word hero? How about hard work? Or how about pride? Or sacrifice? Damn, revenge is an interesting one, and so is manipulation. Well, today, we'll analyze the best representation of each thing in anime. And before we begin, well, no matter what, most of these are a matter of personal opinion. So yeah, I will inevitably be biased on certain characters. Feel free to comment your alternative choices for your best representation for each thing in anime in the comments down below. By the end of the video, we will count which anime got the most winning points. And with that out of the way, let's get to the exciting part. Like, when you think of heroism, who's the first character that pops into your head? Maybe it's Deku from My Hero Academia, the embodiment of perseverance. I mean, the kid was born quirkless, but never let that stop him. Or perhaps it's All Might, the literal symbol of peace. The man carried the weight of the world on his shoulders while smiling, no less. But then we have Rengoku, who made a fiery impression in Demon Slayer and literally saved tens of people with the exchange of his own life. Now that's what most people would call a hero, right? Well, let's break this down. Deku is undeniably heroic. He's the scrappy underdog who never gives up, and that's inspiring. No matter the odds, he's always there, literally breaking his bones and throwing his body in the way to save as many people as he can. All Might? Absolute legend, no matter how you see it. The literal embodiment of the word hero for decades in the world of My Hero Academia. Now Rengoku. Oh man, where do I start? Rengoku didn't just represent heroism, he lived and breathed it until his very last moment. His unwavering resolve during the Mugen Train arc, knowing full well he was outmatched, made him a beacon of hope. He wasn't just fighting demons, he was inspiring the next generation to carry on the battle. And if you're sitting there thinking, but he lost to Akaza, let me remind you that heroism isn't always about winning. It's about standing up for what's right, even when you know you might lose. Overall, all three options are great, but if I had to give this to just one, I think I'd have to go for Deku. My Hero Academia got its first point, and wait, we're just getting started. Each point gets more interesting than the last, and for the final stages, I reserve some of the most difficult choices I'll have to make. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. Next one, which is the best representation of the phrase most exciting new game? Well, the answer to that is obviously Zenless Zone Zero. And hear this, in the new version, there will be plenty of new activities and content added to the game. Not only that, but new comprehensive organizations and upgrades to the old content were made as well. So yeah, players can look forward to new endgame content and activities, offering fresh challenges and exploration opportunities, all based on the feedback the developers received from the fans. So yeah, that's something to get excited over as well. The game has optimized the TV mode experience to make it more diverse and enjoyable, while removing it from the main story and offering it as optional side content. Meanwhile, some of the early main story quests have been remade and optimized, making the leveling process smoother and easier for players to progress and enjoy the later content of the game. I mean, check this. Hoshimi Miyabi, one of the most anticipated characters since the game's beta, is finally available during version 1.4. As the head of Hollow Special Operations Section 6 and the successor of a renowned martial arts family in New Eridu, Miyabi has been raised with exceptional education and unwavering discipline. Considering herself a true warrior, driven by a strong sense of duty, she is dedicated to upholding the principles and order of New Eridu, striving to create an unshakable city management system and amassing a sizable sword collection. Renowned as one of New Eridu's strongest forces, Miyabi may seem cool and serious at first glance, but beneath her composed exterior lies an eccentric and charming Denpa girl personality. Each character corresponds to a faction or organization centered around a main storyline presented in a serialized format. And well, let's just say that this new update, the first climax reaches its conclusion with a dramatic twist. Start your exciting Zenless Zone Zero experience today. But now, let's get back to our video. Who do you think is the best representation of evil next? And I'm talking about the kind that sends chills down your spine. Is it Makima from Chainsaw Man with her manipulative, calculating ways? Sukuna, the chaotic king of curses from Jujutsu Kaisen? Dio, the gay vampire from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Or Frieza, the OG tyrant of Dragon Ball? All of them great choices. So let's see which one I think best describes evil. Makima is undeniably terrifying. She doesn't need brute force to dominate. Her psychological control over others is spine-tingling. Sukuna, on the other hand, is pure chaos. He's all about destruction and doesn't even pretend to care about humanity. Dio is a legend, embodying the over-the-top, flamboyant evil we can't help but love. And Frieza? Well, he's iconic. But let's face it, his motives are kinda standard, right? The type you see quite often. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Frieza as a villain, but would I choose him as the best representation of evil? Probably not, because I would have to go for Griffith. I mean, the guy isn't just evil, he's betrayal personified. The man sacrifices his closest allies, the people who would die for him, all to achieve his dream. Not to mention the Casca scene. You know, those who know. His fall from grace is as devastating as it is calculated. Griffith's evil isn't just about power, It's about breaking trust, hearts, and spirits. That's why he stands above the rest. And yeah, we have the guys online writing comments like, Griffith didn't do anything wrong. Same story with Doflamingo. Yeah, he did do quite a few things wrong. Berserk got its first point. How about Pride next? Who's the best representation here? I mean, this can be both a strength and a downfall, and a few characters embody this trait. First of all, Sukuna's godly arrogance is second to none in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. He does not accept anyone defying him, standing up to him. Heck, he doesn't even tolerate people just looking at him the wrong way. When you're in front of him, you need to bow, and if you don't bow low enough, well, let's just say you're gonna get a new haircut in the very least. Pride's sinister nature from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is also noteworthy. I mean, the guy's literally named Pride, but guess who else is named like that? Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins. And finally, for the one I will actually be choosing, Vegeta. Sukuna's pride is terrifying, but it feels static. There's little growth in his character. Pride, the homunculus, lives up to his name, but his lack of emotional depth limits his relatability. When it comes to Escanor, I'll be honest, I could give this one to him as well. But Vegeta, though, well, call me biased, but Vegeta's pride is complex. It's tied to his identity as the Prince of all Saiyans, his quest for strength, and even his love for his family. He evolves from a prideful tyrant into a protector who channels his arrogance into motivation. Vegeta's pride isn't just a flaw, it's a driving force that makes him one of anime's most layered characters. And that's why I'll be choosing him for this trait. Dragon Ball got its first point as well. Who do you think best represents nihilism in anime? Well, for anyone not sure what nihilism means, here's the official Google answer. It's the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated. It's often associated with extreme pessimism and a radical skepticism that condemns existence. A true nihilist would believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and no purpose other than, perhaps, an impulse to destroy. So, does anyone come to mind? Well, if Ulquiorra from Bleach doesn't come to mind immediately, let me go ahead and change your perspective. Ulquiorra's nihilism is chilling. He doesn't destroy for pleasure or power. He does it because he believes in nothing. His cold, detached demeanor and inability to understand human emotions make him a haunting figure. The dynamic and complexity we see him and Orihime share shows us the level of internal struggle going through Ulquiorra's mind. And yet, there's a tragic beauty in his nihilism. His final moments, where he reaches for Orihime, suggest a fleeting glimpse of humanity, only to fade away. Ulquiorra doesn't just embody nihilism, he is nihilism. And that's what makes him unforgettable. No competition here, this one is his. Bleach got its first point as well. When we talk about strength, who truly deserves the title? Is it Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, the untouchable sorcerer with seemingly no limits? How about Benimaru from Fire Force, the unrivaled powerhouse whose flame abilities make him unstoppable? Then, of course, there's Saitama from One Punch Man, who's so absurdly strong that he's bored by his own power. And we can't forget Sung Jin Woo from Solo Leveling, the underdog turned god who literally solos armies. But in a lineup of heavyweights, one man stands apart here. But before we reveal who, let's go ahead and break it down. Gojo is an absolute monster when it comes to combat. His domain expansion, Unlimited Void, traps opponents in a state of sensory overload, rendering them useless. He is literally hailed as, quote, the strongest, with the only one being able to rival him being Sukuna. However, it is indeed a fact that, in the very least, Gojo's on the same level as Sukuna, if not weaker than him, depending on how you see it. Benimaru is a fan favorite for his fiery, explosive fights and his unmatched combat instincts. But within the context of Fire Force, his power has limits. Now, Saitama, the bald-headed legend himself. There's no denying he's ridiculously strong, but the problem with Saitama is that his strength is the punchline. He's so overpowered that it removes any sense of challenge or emotional weight. Sung Jin Woo, on the other hand, represents the kind of strength we love to root for, one earned through hard work and grit. But aren't there some monarchs that really could rival him? But then there's Yoruichi. Yoruichi is the perfect blend of myth and humanity. As the creator of sunbathing, he's not just physically strong, he's an artist of combat. His techniques so refined, they've shaped generations of demon slayers. Even Muzan, the king of demons, fled in terror from him. His strength isn't just physical, it's spiritual, transcending the limits of mortality. That's why Yoruichi isn't just strong, he's the best representation of the term strength in anime, one who simply has no rivals, and anyone near him cannot even compare. Demon Slayer got its first point as well. When it comes to stoicism, who does it better? Is it Musashi Miyamoto from Vagabond, the wandering samurai whose silence speaks louder than words? Or is it Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the wise tea-drinking philosopher who's seen it all and still smiles? Alright, yeah, I know Avatar isn't exactly an anime, but since we cover that series as well in our channel, I thought of including it in this video as well. So, let's start with Musashi as the protagonist of Vagabond. His journey is defined by hardship and growth. He's a man of few words, preferring favoring action over speech. His stoicism is raw, born out of endless battles and internal struggles. But now let's talk about Iroh. Unlike Musashi, Iroh's stoicism isn't about battle, it's about balance. Here's a man who's endured the unimaginable, the death of his beloved son, exile from his homeland, and a lifetime of war. And yet, instead of succumbing to bitterness, he becomes a beacon of wisdom and compassion. Iroh doesn't just endure hardship, he transforms it into lessons, teaching those around him the value of patience, forgiveness, and self-reflection. He doesn't retreat into silence or isolation. Instead, he uses his experiences to connect with others, from his troubled nephew Zuko to strangers he meets along the way. In a world of war and chaos, Iroh reminds us that true strength lies in understanding, not in fighting. Avatar gets its first point as well. When it comes to revenge, next, who do you think embodies that the best? Is it Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, whose journey morphs from a hopeful boy into a harbinger of destruction? Perhaps Lelouch from Code Geass, who meticulously plans his revenge with cold precision? Or Thorfinn from Vinland Saga, whose life revolves around avenging his father? Let's not forget Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter, whose single-minded focus on vengeance drives his character arc. Lelouch's revenge is brilliant, executed with a flair for the dramatic that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. He plays the long game, using his intellect to dismantle those who wronged him. However, while his plans are intricate, they often lack the emotional rawness that makes revenge truly impactful, something that our other candidates have. Thorfinn represents a different aspect of revenge. His quest is deeply personal and rooted in a childhood lost to violence. Thorfinn's rage is palpable, and his journey is riddled with hardships. Yet, as he grapples with his vengeance, he also begins to question its purpose and the cycle of violence it perpetuates. This internal struggle adds depth to his character and makes it really interesting to see how it unravels. Eren Yeager, however, takes revenge to a cataclysmic level. His transformation from a passionate boy into someone who's willing to unleash chaos on the world is nothing short of shocking. Eren's motivations stem from profound pain and loss, the horrors he faced, and the people he loved. As he wrestles with his humanity, Eren's desire for revenge becomes a reflection of his struggle against a cruel world. What sets Eren apart is how his journey evolves from a quest for revenge into something far more complex, culminating in choices that challenge our understanding of justice and morality. His actions prompt viewers to question the true cost of revenge, making him the quintessential representation of this theme. Attack on Titan gets its first point as well. When we think about egoism now, well, there are a lot of great options, but what I'll do, rather than go across all of them, is focus on two sport anime, Blue Lock and Kuroko no Basket. So, who comes to mind? Is it Akashi from Kuroko no Basket, a player whose overwhelming confidence can intimidate even the best? And of course, Isagi Yoichi from Blue Lock, who embraces egoism as a path to greatness. Akashi's character is fascinating because his egoism is rooted in a god complex. He believes he's destined to be the best, and his abilities back that up. While he is undoubtedly talented, his arrogance can sometimes alienate his teammates, making his brand of egoism feel more like a burden than an asset. His journey revolves around learning to work with others while maintaining his own identity, which adds depth but can also seem detached at times. Isagi, on the other hand, represents a fresh take on egoism. In the high-stakes environment of Blue Lock, where individual talent is paramount, he learns that egoism is not merely about self-centeredness. Instead, it becomes a philosophy of self-empowerment. He understands that in order to succeed, one must recognize their own strengths and take charge of their destiny. Isagi's evolution is rooted in his ability to harness his ego to elevate not just himself, but those around him. What makes Isagi's journey compelling is how he balances individual ambition with teamwork. He begins to see that true strength comes from realizing one's value in a collective setting. His journey showcases that while egoism can often be perceived negatively, it can also serve as a catalyst for growth and success when channeled correctly. In a world that demands both individual talent and cooperation, Isagi emerges as the embodiment of a new kind of egoism, one that inspires and uplifts rather than divides. I'm going to give this round to Blue Lock for the simple reason that egoism is a central theme in Blue Lock, and given the success this anime had, I'd have to go for that. Blue Lock gets its first point as well. Now, what defines true friendship in anime? Which pair comes to mind when you hear the term friendship? Is it Naruto and Sasuke, whose complex bond is riddled with conflict and resolution? Or perhaps Gon and Killua from Hunter x Hunter, whose relationship stands as as a beacon of loyalty and understanding. How about Geto and Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen? Naruto and Sasuke's friendship is iconic, but fraught with tension. Their paths diverge dramatically, resulting in deep conflict and eventual reconciliation. This roller coaster of emotions adds depth to their bond, but it often feels like a relationship defined by pain rather than genuine care for each other, at least not one that goes both ways at all times. While their friendship teaches valuable lessons about understanding and forgiveness, it also highlights the struggles inherent in building connections. When it comes to Geto and Gojo, I'll say that their friendship is truly chilling and really interesting to see. However, none of those two come close to the next one. Gon and Killua represent a 100% pure form of friendship. From the moment they meet, their bond is forged in mutual respect and support. Gon's optimism complements Killua's pragmatism, creating a balance that makes their partnership feel genuine. They're not just friends, they are each other's chosen family. As they navigate the challenges of the Hunter exam and beyond, their unwavering support for one another shines through, even in the face of danger. What sets Gon and Killua apart is their ability to challenge and uplift each other without losing themselves. They're willing to risk their lives and do everything needed in order to help each other when needed. Their journey is a testament to the power of friendship as a source of strength, making them the ultimate representation of this theme in anime. Hunter x Hunter gets their first point as well. When we discuss tragedy in anime, who stands out as the ultimate embodiment? Is it Guts from Berserk, whose life is a constant battle against fate? Or perhaps Akaza from Demon Slayer, whose past is marred by loss and suffering? While Akaza's backstory is indeed heart-wrenching, highlighting the pain of losing his humanity and the love of his life, his tragedy feels like a singular event in a long history. He's shaped by loss, but his character arc often revolves around his regret rather than a lifelong struggle. His transformation into a demon serves as a tragic turning point, but it doesn't encompass the breadth of suffering that defines a truly tragic character. Guts, however, is tragedy incarnate. From the moment of his birth, born from a corpse, he's faced unimaginable hardships. The betrayal of his closest friend, Griffith, and the constant threat of violence and loss define his existence. Guts' life is marked by relentless struggle, not only against powerful foes, but also against the darkness that threatens to consume him. He embodies the notion that tragedy is not merely an event, it's a way of life. What makes Guts' tragedy compelling is how he channels his pain into resilience. Instead of being a passive victim of fate, he fights against it with everything he has. His journey is a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure, showcasing that even in the face of overwhelming sorrow, there is strength. Guts' tragedy is not just about suffering, it's about survival, making him the ultimate representation of this theme in anime. Berserk gets their second point of today's video. Now, when you think of kindness in anime, who springs to mind? Is it Naruto, whose empathy transforms enemies into allies? Perhaps Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen, who constantly risks himself to save others? Or is it Deku from My Hero Academia, who believes in saving everyone, even the villains? For me, the quintessential representation of kindness is Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Tanjiro embodies kindness in a world filled with darkness and despair. Unlike Naruto, whose kindness often feels tied to a mission of peace, Tanjiro's compassion is innate. His ability to empathize with others, including the demons he battles, sets him apart. He sees the humanity in everyone, even those who have succumbed to their darkest natures. For instance, during his encounters with demons like Nezuko and Enmu, Tanjiro does not just see them as monsters. He recognizes their pain, their suffering, and their pasts. Instead of simply vanquishing them, he offers words of comfort and understanding, believing that their humanity can still be salvaged. What makes Tanjiro's kindness even more poignant is the way he channels it into action. His determination to save Nezuko, his sister who is turned into a demon, showcases his unwavering loyalty and love. He fights not just to slay demons, but to protect his loved ones and to free those lost to darkness. In a world where survival often necessitates cruelty, Tanjiro stands as a shining example of how kindness can drive one's actions. His kindness isn't a weakness, it's his greatest strength, allowing him to inspire those around him and to confront evil with an open heart. This profound depth of character makes Tanjiro the ultimate embodiment of kindness in anime. So, Demon Slayer gets their second point of today's video as well. When we think about loyalty in anime, who stands out the most? Is it Levi from Attack on Titan, a fierce protector of humanity? Or is it Pikachu from Pokemon, who never leaves Ash's side through thick and thin? However, for me, the embodiment of loyalty is Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. Zoro's loyalty is legendary, woven into the very fabric of his character. From the moment he joins Luffy's crew, he pledges to follow him to the ends of the earth. His unwavering dedication is showcased in his willingness willingness to sacrifice everything for his captain and friends. A prime example of this is during the Thriller Bark arc, where Zoro takes on the burden of Luffy's pain after his fight with Gecko Moria. His declaration to protect his captain, even at the cost of his own life, sends chills down the spine and exemplifies loyalty at its finest. What sets Zoro apart from other loyal characters, though, is this depth of commitment. While many characters show loyalty through words, Zoro backs it up with actions. He trains relentlessly, fights fiercely, and endures tremendous pain, all to ensure that Luffy can achieve his dream of becoming the Pirate King. His loyalty is not just blind allegiance. It's rooted in a profound respect for Luffy's dreams and aspirations. Zoro's character demonstrates that loyalty isn't simply about following orders or sticking around. It's about shared dreams and the willingness to stand by those you care about, no matter the cost. This unwavering loyalty makes Zoro a standout character in the realm of anime, embodying the spirit of camaraderie and dedication. One Piece gets their first point as well. Now, who embodies loneliness better in anime? Is it Kakashi or Naruto Uzumaki? To be honest, Naruto as an anime revolves a lot around the concept of loneliness, so it was natural that I'd go for someone from this anime. Kakashi's loneliness is marked by the weight of his experiences. As a member of Team Minato, he's lost friends and loved ones, which has shaped him into a lone wolf who often keeps others at arm's length. He lost his father, friends, teacher, literally everyone he ever cared about. His stoic demeanor masks the deep sorrow he carries, and while it's heartbreaking, it's often tempered by his connections with Team 7. Naruto's loneliness, however, is central to his character from the very beginning. As an orphan ostracized for being the host of the Nine Tails, he embodies the struggles of those who feel invisible in their own communities. His early years are spent yearning for acknowledgement and acceptance, leading to a burning determination to become Hokage, not just for power, but to prove his worth. Naruto's journey is a testament to the transformative power of friendship and connection. What truly sets Naruto apart, though, is his ability to rise above loneliness. Instead of allowing his isolation to define him, he uses it as fuel to form connections, eventually creating bonds that rival even the strongest friendships. His resolve to reach out to others, even those who initially oppose him, shows that he refuses to be a victim of his circumstances. Through his journey, Naruto demonstrates that loneliness can be overcome with love, friendship, and determination, making him the ultimate representation of this theme. Naruto gets its first point as well. Next, when we talk about Brotherhood, who represents it the best? And yeah, let's first clarify we mean actual brotherhood, and not just friendship that resembles one, alright? So, is it Edward and Alphonse Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, whose bond drives the entire narrative? Or could it be Itachi and Sasuke from Naruto, whose relationship is marked by conflict and redemption? While Itachi and Sasuke share a complex brotherly bond, their relationship is often strained, filled with pain and betrayal. Itachi's sacrifice for Sasuke's growth creates a compelling arc, but it's also steeped in tragedy and misunderstanding. Their dynamic exemplifies how brotherhood can be a source of conflict, showcasing love intertwined with struggle. Edward and Alphonse, however, exemplify the purest form of brotherhood. From the very start, their journey is fueled by an unwavering commitment to one another. After a tragic accident involving their attempt to resurrect their mother through alchemy, the brothers set out on a quest to reclaim their bodies and rectify their mistakes. Throughout their journey, Edward's fierce protectiveness of Alphonse and Al's unwavering support of Edward highlight the strength of their bond. What truly sets the Elric brothers apart is how they uplift each other. They're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for each other. Edward's determination to protect Alphonse from harm is matched only by Al's faith in Edward's abilities. This mutual support creates a powerful dynamic, showcasing that true brotherhood is about lifting each other up during the darkest of times. Their journey is a testament to the idea that family extends beyond blood. It's about the bonds we forge and the love we share. This makes Edward and Alphonse the ultimate representation of brotherhood in anime. I'm choosing Edward and Alphonse for this point, and thus, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood gets their first point of today's video. When we think of change and redemption, who comes to mind? Is it Musashi Miyamoto from Vagabond, that warrior seeking self-discovery? Or is it Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, whose journey of redemption is both compelling and relatable? Maybe it's Vegeta from Dragon Ball, who evolves from a ruthless warrior to a hero. But for me, the character who embodies change and redemption is Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. Thorfinn's journey is one of profound transformation. Initially driven by vengeance for his father's death, Thorfinn represents the archetypal warrior fueled by hatred and the desire for revenge. His early life is consumed by the pursuit of his father's killer, Askeladd, to the point where he sacrifices his own humanity. However, as the story unfolds, Thorfinn experiences a shift that forces him to confront the futility of his quest for revenge. The turning point in Thorfinn's character occurs when he realizes that violence and hatred will not bring him peace or fulfillment. Instead, he begins to seek a different path, one rooted in understanding, compassion, and the desire for a better world. This internal struggle highlights the theme of redemption as he learns that true strength lies not in revenge, but in forgiveness and growth. Thorfinn's evolution from a revenge-driven warrior to someone seeking purpose and peace is a powerful representation of change. His journey illustrates that redemption is not a destination, but a continuous process. Thorfinn's growth serves as a reminder that everyone has the capacity to change, regardless of their past actions. This deeply human narrative makes him the ultimate representation of change and redemption in anime, showcasing that even the darkest paths can lead to light. Vinland Saga gets their first point of today's video. On the other hand now, who best embodies the theme of change and deterioration in anime? Is it Obito Uchiha from Naruto, who experiences a tragic fall from grace? Perhaps it's Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, whose transformation from a victim to a villain is haunting? Or is it Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, whose evolution from determined boy to harbinger of destruction is nothing short of shocking? Eren's transformation is unlike any other. At the beginning of Attack on Titan, he's fueled by a righteous anger, driven by the desire to eliminate the Titans and protect his friends. However, as the story unfolds, his character begins to deteriorate under the weight of trauma, betrayal, and loss. The shocking revelations about the world and the nature of the Titans lead Eren down a dark path, forcing him to confront the brutal reality of his existence. What makes Eren's journey compelling is how it challenges the viewer's perception of morality. His initial noble intentions become twisted as he grapples with the truth of his world. By the series climax, Eren evolves into a character willing to sacrifice everything, including his humanity, for what he believes to be freedom. This moral ambiguity creates a powerful narrative that questions the cost of change and the potential for deterioration when ideals are pushed to their limits. Eren's story serves as a stark reminder that change can be both positive and destructive. His descent into darkness exemplifies how a character can lose their way when faced with overwhelming odds, making him a powerful representation of the theme of change and deterioration in anime. Attack on Titan gets their second point in today's video. When we think about rage in anime, who comes to mind? Is it Guts from Berserk, whose fury drives his every action? Or is it Gon Freaks from Hunter x Hunter, whose innocent demeanor masks an explosive potential? Guts is the quintessential rage-driven character, fueled by an unrelenting desire for revenge against Griffith. His rage defines him. It's his motivation and his curse. Every fight, every encounter is colored by his anger, making him a tragic yet compelling figure. However, while Guts' rage is rooted in deep personal loss, it can sometimes feel overwhelming, overshadowing the complexity of his character development. Gon's rage, however, takes a different form. At first glance, he seems like the cheerful, carefree kid on a quest to find his father, but beneath that innocent exterior lies a potent rage that can be unleashed when his friends or family are in danger. The rage Gon displayed against P2 is probably the most iconic rage moment in all of anime, and because of that, I'll be giving this title to him. Hunter x Hunter gets their second point of today's video. Next up, when it comes to hope in anime, who embodies it the best? Is it Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer, whose unwavering optimism lights up even the darkest battles? Perhaps it's All Might from My Hero Academia, the symbol of peace who inspires an entire society. Or is it Goku from Dragon Ball, the Saiyan warrior who has shown time and time again that hope is never lost? Tanjiro is a beacon of hope in the bleak world of Demon Slayer. Despite the tragedies he's endured, he remains resolute, showing compassion to even his enemies. Tanjiro's hope is infectious, inspiring his comrades to push forward in the face of overwhelming odds. However, his hope often feels deeply personal, tied to his mission of saving Nezuko and avenging his family. All Might is another powerful symbol of hope. His mere presence lifts people's spirits, and his iconic smile hides the burdens he carries as the world's greatest hero. Yet, his hope is often tied to his status as a larger-than-life figure, making it feel somewhat unattainable to the average person. Goku, on the other hand, is the epitome of universal hope. He represents the belief that no matter how dire the situation, there's always a way forward. Goku's hope isn't rooted in a grand ideal or personal tragedy. It's a fundamental part of who he is. Whether he's facing overwhelming odds in battle against Frieza, Cell, or Jiren, Goku's unwavering confidence and determination inspire everyone around him. His relentless pursuit of improvement, coupled with his willingness to risk everything for the sake of his friends and the universe, makes him a true symbol of hope. Goku shows us that hope isn't about knowing you'll win. It's about believing you can, no matter the odds. That's why he stands as the ultimate representation of hope in anime. Dragon Ball gets its second point. And for the final point of our video, when it comes to manipulation, who does it the best? Is it Aizen from Bleach, the master chess player who plans his every move with chilling precision? Perhaps it's Makima from Chainsaw Man, whose control over others is both terrifying and absolute. Katsumata from 20th Century Boys is another contender, with his eerie ability to manipulate manipulate entire masses. But Johann Liebert from Monster, he's manipulation personified. Aizen's manipulation is rooted in strategy. He's the puppet master, orchestrating events from the shadows and deceiving even the most powerful beings. While his brilliance is undeniable, his manipulation often feels grandiose, tied to his godlike ambitions. Makima, on the other hand, uses her control to bend others to her will, creating an atmosphere of fear and dominance. Her manipulation is terrifying, but it lacks the subtlety and personal touch that makes manipulation truly chilling. Johann Liebert takes manipulation to a level that feels almost supernatural. His power lies not in brute force or supernatural abilities, but in his unparalleled understanding of human psychology. Johann doesn't just manipulate events, he manipulates people's very sense of identity and morality. His words can drive people to commit unspeakable acts, all while maintaining an angelic facade. What sets Johann apart is the intimacy of his manipulation. He doesn't need armies or grand schemes to achieve his goals. He breaks people on an individual level, turning their own fears, desires, and insecurities against them. His actions are calculated yet deeply personal, creating a sense of unease that lingers long after the credits roll. Johann's mastery of manipulation makes him one of the most terrifying and compelling villains in anime history, earning him the top spot in this category. Monster gets its first point. Click on this video next, where we let luck decide on the strongest Demon Slayer character possible. Go on, check it out!